Are you searching for innovative robotics engineering project ideas to enhance your skills? Or perhaps, are you an engineer with expert knowledge in robotics who wants to flex your muscles by trying new stuff? How about trying two of the fundamental robotics engineering projects there are? Yes, this is the video you want to watch. Robotics engineering is a thriving field in engineering these days, and students and interested learners are looking to work with and understand highly interactive and productive robots that can help solve basic human problems by making work easier. In this video, we give you 7 of the most exciting robotics engineering project ideas you can try out, and by the end of it, you're going to gain a lot of knowledge. Let's get into it. Number 7. Cleaning robot. To begin with, cleaning is one of the basic human tasks there are, and let's be honest, it can be quite cumbersome, especially for big production companies and huge mansions. Now imagine a robot cleaning all the dust in your 100 square feet living room. I bet you could even become a millionaire if you did well enough. A robot like this will typically follow a zigzag path to be able to cover an entire space, and it will also come with a vacuum system that will attract all the dust. The body of the robot is known as the chassis. This is where you'll have all the circuits, the wheels, and even the brush. Additionally, you'd also have 8051 microcontrollers, enabling you to control the entire robot. Now what actually allows the robot to clean the dust of the motors? The small motors are where the brushes are attached, and when these motors rotate, the brushes also rotate. However, if you opt for a vacuum system, a water pump motor is also needed as part of the small motors. Other essential electronics you'll need for a cleaner robot are the sensors, whose job is to sense the robot's surroundings. An ultrasonic sensor typically works with the cleaning itself, while a light-dependent resistor (LDR) and infrared (IR) sensor ensure that the robots don't hit any obstacles. Interestingly, these sensors played even bigger part in another robot we'll talk about pretty soon, so stay tuned. Number 6. Soccer-playing robot. Well, you won't exactly call a soccer-playing robot a problem solver, like, say, a cleaning robot, for example. But here's the thing. One of the best ways to hone your skills in robotics is to attempt to have fun while at it, and soccer is fun. So you'll have a lot of fun making a robot that actually plays it. I can promise you that. Another thing you'll undoubtedly have a lot of fun doing is watching more videos like this on this channel. But to do that, you'd have to subscribe to our channel, so you don't miss a thing. So go on and hit that subscribe button right now. Now for a soccer-playing robot. The first thing you'll need is one hard chassis because soccer is a contact sport, and so your robots are likely to collide with other robots. You'll also need 2 wheels to make your robots move around the field easily and score those goals. Additionally, 2 highly powered DC motors are needed for performance. These motors are literally the heart and lungs of your robots, so you'll definitely need them. Finally, you'll need a pair of catchers, especially for your goalkeepers. A plastic material normally does the trick because the ball will likely be made of plastic material as well. Make sure to build a robot that can compete because losing sucks. But hey, even if you ended up losing, I'm sure you'd have learned a lot in making the robot itself. Well, you can also learn a lot in robotics by watching our video titled, "What exactly is robotics engineering?" Robotic engineering job description. I'm sure you'll enjoy it as much as making a soccer-playing robot. Number 5. Drone. Here's another idea. Try making a drone. Sounds interesting, right? Yeah, I know. Drones are very useful robots these days, especially in product and food delivery, as well as photography. Whisper this quietly. Drones are actually used as killer robots in the military. But you don't want to build a killer robot, do you? The FBI and the NSA might come after you. A drone will typically come with a drone body and a few motors. What the motors do is rotate the propellers and give the drone thrust as it flies. The key thing to note here is that the motors must be the same number as the propellers. Additionally, you'll need a speed controller and a signal transmitter. The speed controller controls the speed of the motors, and the signal transmitter communicates to the drone via the remote controller. Beyond these two, a low-budget camera can be fitted in there, especially if you want to use the drone for photography. You'll also need protectors to protect the propellers and the camera if you install one. Number 4. Pick-and-place robot. A pick-and-place robot does the two things its name suggests: pick an object and place it in a specific location. A robot like this is mainly used in manufacturing companies to pick heavy objects a human will find difficulty in carrying. So the risk involved in carrying certain objects is completely cut off, which is really good. Of course, you'll need a chassis that will consist of stuff like cylinders, links, and joints. You'll also need a gripping arm. The gripping arm is typically connected to the joint and does the actual carrying. Like most robots, there must be motors that will power the entire robot. These motors will also need to be controlled, and that's where your controller comes in. They operate on what the sensors communicate to them. And so every joint in the gripping arm's movement is also controlled by it. Again, like the cleaning robot, there are sensors needed in a pick-and-place robot as well. These sensors basically help the robot run as smoothly as possible. The touch sensor helps the robot detect objects around it, and on the other hand, the IR sensor is used for detecting obstacles. We have 3 more robot project ideas to go, but before we get into them, I'll be interested to know which of the ones we've mentioned is your favorite project idea thus far. Hop in the comments and tell us what you think. Number 3. Metal detector robot. A metal detector mainly utilizes an 8051 series microcontroller to detect metallic objects around it. The microcontroller comes with push buttons that send commands through a transmitter known as the RF transmitter. The robot also comes with 2 motors which power the robot to move in different directions. Anytime the robot detects a metal, an alarm is instantly triggered, thereby notifying the user. Interesting, isn't it? Although I wonder when it'll give false alarms. Well, I reckon that'll be when you don't get the configuration right. Don't worry, follow our little manual, and you'll be fine. Apart from the microcontroller, the RF transmitter, and the motors, you'll need a strong chassis for a metal detector robot, which should strictly be metal, preferably aluminum. Finally, you'll need wheels, but those don't need to be metal. Plastic will work fine. Number 2. Obstacle avoiding robot. The concept involved in implementing an obstacle avoiding robot forms the basis of most robotics engineering projects, together with another robot we'll talk about lastly in this video, by the way. Also, the obstacle avoiding robot project forms the basis of the first stage in making auto-driving cars. You probably get the link, don't you? Well, here's the link. An auto-driving car must be able to master the art of avoiding obstacles. But beyond the manufacturing industry, you can also make use of the obstacle-avoiding robot in the home for basic tasks, such as vacuum cleaning and heavy lifting. This robot also uses an ultrasonic sensor that aids in the movement of the robot. The sensor works by releasing sonic waves, which are reflected by any object it passes by. Another sensor then receives that information. After that, an 8051 microcontroller sends a command to the robot to move in another direction. Pretty cool stuff, if you get it right, of course. Good luck! Number 1. Line follower robot. Apart from the obstacle-avoiding robot, the line follower robot is also as basic as it comes, which makes it a favorite for most engineering robots. All it does is follow an indicated line, but all robots have to follow lines, and that's what makes it interesting. This robot comes with microcontrollers known as Arduino. You can find that on the market for a reasonable price. Also, you'll need an IR sensor to detect infrared radiation. Then, a motor driver IC will also be required to drive the motors in the robot. The actual motors should be DC motors that can operate between 5 to 36 volts. Lastly, a chassis will be needed for the body of the robot. It can come in plastic, wood, or aluminum. What's important is that the chassis dimensions are as accurate as possible. Now here's a final point to note. Beyond the specific requirements we've listed in the project ideas, there are pretty basic stuff you'll also need across board. Stuff like a power supply, a breadboard, and of course a computer. These electronic components will make your project run very smoothly, so take note. But if you want your knowledge in robotics engineering as a whole to be even smoother than it already is, then go ahead and watch our video titled What to study to become a roboticist, 5 best robotic engineering courses. These are some of the best courses in the course you'll find, so give them a try. That's all for now then. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.